So, we have seen first order differential equations, and we have looked at various methods to solve them. So, the first method that we looked at was what was called separation of variables. Then we looked at using the ideas of exact differentials to solve first order differential equations. After that, we looked at how you can find integrating factors even when your first order differential equation cannot be separated or it is not exact. You can use integrating factors to solve first order differential equations. So, today I will talk about system of first order differential equations, and then I will talk about linear equations and how you can use matrix methods to solve linear first order differential equations or even a system of linear first order differential equations. Okay. So, let us get to system of first order differential equations. So, the idea is the following: suppose you have one independent variable . Let me call it x, and you have several dependent variables y1, y2, y3, etc. Okay. Then your system of first order differential equation looks something like this. So, it might look like dy1 by dx is equal to f1 of in general x, y1, y2, some function. So, it is the derivative of the first dependent variable. There is only one independent variable. So, that is why I just have dy by dx. You could have so this is one equation. Then you have dy2 by dx will be some other function f2 of x, y1, y2, so on and so on. You have all the way up to how many ever variables you have. So, this is a system of first order differential equations. So, what you mean is it is not just one first order differential equation, it is several first order differential equations, and that is because you have several variables, several dependent variables, but you have only one independent variable. Okay. So, this is a system of first order differential equations, okay, and this is something that we encounter very often. So, you might remember your chemical kinetics. In chemical kinetics, we often have something like dA by dt is equal to something, then you have dB by dt equal to something, and so on. Okay. So, we often encounter such system of first order differential equations, especially in chemical kinetics, but also in several other areas you might encounter them. Okay. Now, we look at a particular class of equations. Okay. So, we will look at a particular class of equations called linear first order differential equations. Before that, I will just mention one thing, that you can do something, you can convert a higher order differential equation to a system of first order differential equations. So, example, suppose you have a differential equation d square y by dx square is equal to, let us say, f of x, y, and I will just say y prime. So, it is some function of x, y and y prime. This is a second derivative. It is some function of x, y and the first derivative of y. So, y prime is dy by dx. Okay. So, suppose you have a second order differential equation. Now, you can say let y1 of x, okay, equal to y of x, and let y2 of x equal to dy by dx. It is a function of x. Okay. So, suppose you use this substitution. Okay. So, then your system of equations becomes, so since y2 is dy by dx, I can write this equation in the following form. So, dy1 by dx is equal to y2 okay, and I can write dy2 by dx, okay, dy2 by dx is d square y by dx square. So, this is my f of x y1, this is y1, this is y2. Okay. So, what I did is I converted my second order differential equation to two first order differential equations. Okay. So, I converted it to two first order differential equation. It is as though you can imagine that x is the only dependent variable and y1 and y2 are two independent variable, or x is the independent variable, y1 and y2 are two dependent variables, and this has exactly the form that we had earlier. This has exactly this form. So, dy1 by dx is some function of all these variables, dy2 by dx is some function of all these variables. So, same way you have dy1 by dx. Now, in this case it depends only on y2, it does not depend on y1 or x, but that is also fine, and then similarly you have dy2 by dx is some function of x, y1 and y2. So, what this means is that you can convert second order ODE into two first order ODEs. Okay. And you can extend this, you can convert a third order ODE into three first order ODEs, okay, and so on. You can do this for third order differential equations too, okay, and you can extend it to any order. So, basically you can consider you can convert a higher order differential equation into first order differential, into a system of first order differential equations. Okay. Now, let us look at linear first order differential equations. So, a linear first order differential equation means it looks how it has a form dy by dx is equal to some constant times y. So, each term has y up to power 1. Okay. Now, if you have this equation, then you can solve this. So, a is a constant. So, you can solve this linear first order differential equation by writing dy by y is equal to a dx, or you can write log of y is equal to ax plus a constant of integration, or I can take exponential on both sides. I can write y is equal to e raised to ax into e raised to c, and I can just call e raised to c as some constant d e raised to x. So, d is an arbitrary constant. Okay. So, in other words, a linear first order differential equation, the solution is exponential. So, solution of linear first order differential equation is an exponential function. Okay. So, I will just write it here, solution is an exponential function. Okay. Now, if a is greater than 0, if a is greater than 0, then the solution is greater than 0, then it is exponentially increasing. So, for x greater than 0, so for x greater than 0 it looks like this. Okay. So, along the positive x axis it looks like this. Now, when x is less than 0, okay, then it will just come all the way to 0. So, when x goes to minus infinity it will go to 0. So, you will have some function that looks like this. Okay. If a is greater than 0 or if a is less than 0, okay, then you will have something which looks exactly the opposite way. So, it goes to infinity and then here it goes to 0. Okay. So, that is what your function looks like, that is what the solution e raised to ax. So, this is a graph of e raised to ax, this is also e raised to ax. So, for a linear first order differential equation, okay, with a constant coefficient, okay, that has e raised to ax as the solution. What happens if you have a system of linear first order differential equations? So, suppose I had dy1 by dx is equal here. So, this is a11 times y1 plus a12 times y2 plus let us say you go all the way up to a1n times yn. So, it is a and so y1, y2 etc. up to yn are the dependent variables. Okay. And what I did is I wrote the differential equation for y1 as some constant times y1 plus some constant times y2 plus all the way. Okay. So, this is a linear first order differential equation. Okay. It is linear all these dependent variables. Similarly, if I have dy2 by dx is equal to a21 y1 plus a22 y2 plus all the way up to a2n yn, and you can go all the way to dyn by dx is equal to an1 times y1 plus an2 times y2 all the way up to ann times yn. Okay. Now, this system of differential equations I can write it in a very nice form. So, I will write this in the following form. So, I will make a column vector that looks like y1, y2 up to yn, okay, and I will take a d by dt of this, d by dx of this. That's basically I take this is same as taking dy 1 by dx, dy 2 by dx and so on, and I can write this using our matrix methods as a11, a12, a1n, a21, a22, a2n, an1, an2, ann, this times y1, y2 up to yn. So, what I have on the left hand side is a derivative with respect to x. Okay. So, I do not have just the vector, I have the derivative with respect to x. So, each term you have to take the derivative with respect to x, and what I have on the right hand side is just this matrix multiplied by y1, y2 up to yn. Okay. So, notice what I did is I converted this system of linear first order differential equations to something that looks like a matrix equation. So, now I can write this in a slightly different form. So, let me call this as y, I will just say capital Y, which is a vector, okay, and let me call this matrix A. Okay. So, then I can write d of y vector divided by dx, which is the left hand side, that I can write as A times y. Okay. Now, this looks just like a matrix equation. This is A times y, which is equal to dy by dx. Okay. So, how do you solve this differential equation? Now, one of the things I had said when we discussed matrices is that one of the most powerful techniques in matrices is that of finding eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Okay. So, suppose we find eigenvalues and eigenvectors of A. What do you mean by finding eigenvalues and eigenvectors? We look for y lambda, these eigenvectors, such that A times y lambda is equal to lambda times y lambda. Okay. So, you are looking for vectors such that this is satisfied. Okay. Now, for these vectors, so therefore, we can immediately write d y lambda divided by dx is nothing but lambda times y lambda. So, why did I write this? Because you look at this equation, this is just now suppose y was not a vector, then you would say dy by dx equal to lambda y, the solution it is a linear equation, the solution is exponential. Okay. But now you notice that this is an eigenvalue lambda. So, for each of the components of y, okay, you have a linear equation. Okay. So, the solution, okay, that means each of the components satisfies an exponential equation. So, that means I can say that dy1 by dx equal to lambda y1, dy2 by dx equal to lambda y2, and so on. Okay, and the solution of this I can write as y1 is equal to, I will just call it c1 e to the lambda x, y2 equal to c2 e to the lambda x, and so on. So, what that means is that I can write my y lambda as some coefficient vector, I will just call it c times e to the lambda x, okay, where c is basically a vector which has c1, c2 up to cn. Okay. So, what we said is that this general equation, okay, has, if you are able to find the eigenvalues, then this is one form, y lambda equal to c e to the lambda x is one form that actually satisfies this satisfies the differential equation. Okay. If y has n columns and A is an n by n matrix, then you can have n eigenvalues. Okay. So, you can have n or n eigenvalues okay. In general, yes, it is correct that you can have n eigenvalues. Each of the coefficients of these eigenvalues will be seen here. Okay. So, you can have n eigenvalues and you can have n eigenvectors and corresponding n eigenvectors. Okay. So, what is it that I want to get across here? Okay. So, if you know the eigenvalues and eigenvectors, okay, then I should write this slightly differently. So, I will just put this in brackets. Okay. So, what I want to say is the following, that if you know the eigenvalues and eigenvectors, okay, then you can write the solution of this differential equation. Okay. I will just emphasize this once again. So, remember y1 is nothing but one of the coefficients of the eigenvectors. Okay. And since you know y1, okay, you can actually write the general solution. Okay. So, what is the idea of this whole thing? So, you start with dy by dx, you write it as A times y, you solve for the eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Okay. Once you have solved for the eigenvalues and eigenvectors, okay, then you know that any eigenvalue and eigenvector will have this as a solution. Okay. So, the solution can be written as some constant times e to the lambda x. Okay. That would be a solution of this differential equation. Okay. And so if you know the eigenvalues, you can solve the differential equation using this matrix methods. Okay. So, what is the strategy? You have dy by dx equal to A times x, A times y. Okay. So, this was your equation and you get eigenvalues, let us say lambda 1, lambda 2 up to lambda n, and you get the corresponding eigenvectors y1, y2 up to yn. Okay. And then you can write your solution, your general solution. Okay. Now what is a general solution? A general solution will have undetermined constants. Okay. And it is not hard to show that you can write the general solution as a linear combination of all these eigenvalues multiplied by the eigenvectors. So, each term will look like y1 e to the lambda 1 x times c1 plus C2 times y2 e to the lambda 2 x plus C3 times y3 e to the lambda 3 x and so on, where so general solution I will just write y is equal to this, okay, where C1 C2 up to Cn are arbitrary constants. To be determined from boundary conditions. So, what did I do? I took this y and I wrote this as let's just consider one of these terms. So, suppose I just consider y1 e to the lambda 1 x. So, suppose I write suppose I just look at y1 e to the lambda 1 x. Okay. Now, if I take the derivative of this with respect to x, okay, so suppose I just take d by dx of this, you can clearly see that I will just get lambda times y1 e to the lambda x, okay, and so this is just lambda times y, and what we said, this is equal to lambda times y1 is just so each of these actually satisfies this differential equation, because you know that lambda 1 times y1 is just a times y1. And so what you are doing is you are using the method of eigenvalues and eigenvectors to actually get independent solutions, okay, and then you are using a times y1 e to the lambda 1 x. Okay, so therefore, what you are saying is that y1 e to the lambda 1 x, okay, is a solution of this differential equation, the original differential equation that you had. Similarly, y2 e to the lambda 2 x is also a solution, y3 e to the lambda 3 x is also a solution, and so on, okay. And so you can take a linear combination of all these solutions and get a general solution of this differential equation that has lot of arbitrary constants. Okay. Now, each of these arbitrary constants you can determine from the boundary conditions, and so this is a way to solve a system of linear first order differential equations, okay, and using this idea of eigenvalues and eigenvectors. So, let us just go back once again and just remind ourselves that where we got this system of differential equations. We got it from saying that each of these differential equations is linear, okay, and so I can write this in matrix form. So d by dx of y1 up to yn is this, and we identified each of these as y dy by dx and this with matrix A, and so we could write our differential equation in this form. This system of differential equation looks like a differential equation for a vector, okay, and once you find the eigenvalues and eigenvectors, okay, then you can use these eigenvalues and eigenvectors in order to write the general solution. So what we have to do is to find these eigenvectors, and these eigenvectors satisfy this differential equation, okay, because dy by dx is ay, which is a times y lambda, which is lambda times y lambda, and what that gives us is that dy lambda by dx is lambda times y lambda, okay, and this immediately tells us that y lambda should have this exponential factor. We can go ahead and write it as some constant times an exponential, and what this tells us, we have n eigenvalues and we have n eigenvectors. So we can write the general solution in this form, okay. So we can write the general solution in this form, and you can verify that each of these terms, okay, will satisfy the differential equation, okay. So each of these terms in the general solution, each of these terms will actually satisfy the differential equations. This concludes discussion on first order differential equations. Now in the last lecture of this module, I will be doing some practice problems to show you how you can use all these methods that you have learned.